Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing well. If you're new to my channel, you're welcome to my channel. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. Today I'll be making a simple blouse. I'm going to use this fabric for it. The fabric is folded with her biggest measurement, which is her bust measurement. Her bust measurement is 38. 38 divided by 4 is 9.5 plus 4 to 5 inches seam allowance. 9.5. This is 9.5. I have about 4 inches plus for seam allowance. This blouse is off shoulders blouse. I'll take off some inches from the upper part of the blouse. I'll subtract some inches. You can minus 4 inches, 5 inches or 6 inches, but I'm going to subtract 5 inches from the upper part of the blouse. This is starting line. This is her bust point, her underbrows, her waistline. Seam allowance to join it to the lower part. So I'll put 5 inches on this line. This is starting line. 5 inches on this line. So 9 inches is half of her round armhole. Her chest line. Ten and a half inches. Her bust point is 10 inches plus half inch seam allowance, 10 and a half. Her under bust is 14 inches plus half inch seam allowance, 14 and a half. Her waistline and seam allowance to join it to the lower part. So here I'll mark half of her bust palm measurement. Her bust palm measurement is 8 inches divided by 2 is 4 inches plus half inch seam allowance, 4 and a half. I'll mark 4 and a half. This is half of her bust palm measurement plus half inch seam allowance, 4 and a half. This is for the front part of the blouse. The fabric is folded into 2. I'm going to mark the dart. Here I'll mark half inch on this side and 1 inch on this side. This is the underbrows. I'll mark 1 inch on both sides. Waistline, I'll mark half inch on both sides. Or if you want, you can mark 1 inch on both sides. I'll connect it. This is the bust point. On the bust point, you can go up by 1 inch or half inch and come down by 1 inch or half inch. Half inch. I connected it from this point to the half inch above the bust point. From this point to half inch above the bust point. From under bust to this half inch below the bust point. From under bust to this half inch below the bust point. From under bust, I connected it to the waistline. At the upper part here, I'll mark half of her shoulder measurement. Her shoulder measurement is 15. 15 divided by 2 is 7.5. I'll mark 7.5. For her neck width, her shoulder measurement, I'll come in by 2 inches or 1.5 inches. I'll come in by 2 inches. Half of her shoulder measurement is 7.5 minus 2 inches is 5.5. So I'll mark 5.5 for her neck width. But because I'm going to cut this off, I'll add it. 5.5 plus half and 1, which is 1.5 inches. 5.5 plus 1.5 is 7 inches. 7 inches plus seam allowance. I need 1.5 inches for seam allowance. Half inch on this side, half inch, and half inch to join it to the sleeve is 1.5 inches. So 7 plus 1.5 is 8.5 inches. I'll mark 8.5 inches. 8.5. So this is 8.5. I'll connect it to the armhole. Her bust measurement is 38. 38 divided by 4 is 9.5. 9.5, I will check what I have here because I'm going to cut it off. I have half inch. 9.5 plus this half inch is 10 inches. So I'll mark 10 inches. Her waist measurement is 32. 32 divided by 4 is 8 inches. 8 inches plus that, because I'm going to cut this off. This is 1 inch, but I'm going to use this 2 inches. I'll add 2 inches plus 2 inches seam allowance. Seam allowance. Here I'll add 2 inches seam allowance. I'll connect it. From this 8.5 inches, I'll connect it to the armhole. So this is the starting line. I 1.5 inches or 2 inches for neck depth. I will connect it to this point. This is for the front. This is for the back. This is 1 inch for zip allowance. All the measurement will start from this line. This is starting line. Is minus 5 off shoulders. I'll put 5 inches on this starting line. This is 9 inches chest line, half of her round armhole. This is her waist measurement and seam allowance to join it to the lower part. Here I'll mark half of her bust pan measurement. For that, her bust pan measurement is 8 inches divided by 2 is 4. 4 inches. I'll come down by 1 inch. For that, I'll mark half inch on both sides. Half, half. Half, half. I'll connect it. On this line, chest line, I'll mark her bust measurement. Her bust measurement is 38. 38 divided by 4 is 9.5. 9.5. 1 inch seam allowance. I'm not going to line it. Her waist measurement is 32. 32 divided by 4 is 8 inches. plus 1 inch for that, 9 inches. One inch seam allowance. 1 inch seam allowance. I'll connect it. So at the upper part here, I'll mark half of her shoulder measurement. Half of her shoulder measurement is 7.5. This is 7.5. To mark her neck width, you will come in by 1.5, 2 inches, but I'm using 2 inches. I'll come in by 2 inches. 7.5 minus 2 inches is 5.5, plus half inch seam allowance to join it to the sleeve is 6 inches. So I'll mark 6 inches. From these 6 inches, I'll connect it. For the neckline, I'll come down by 1.5, 2 inches. For the neck depth, I'll use 1.5. I'll connect it this way. So I'm going to cut it. I'll cut it into 2 because of zip, but here I'll come in by 1/2 inch and connect it back to this line. From this 1/2 inch, I'll measure another 1 inch for zip allowance. So I'm going to cut it. I will notch the dart. So this is for the back. I want to cut the lower part of the blouse. To cut the lower part of the blouse, I'll subtract the upper part of the blouse from the full length of the blouse. The full length of the blouse is 25 inches. The upper part is 17 inches. 25 minus 17 is 8 inches. I'll add 1.5 inches seam allowance, 1/2 inch to join it to the upper part, and 1 inch to hem it because I'm not going to line it. To get the radius, I'll work with her waist measurement. Her waist measurement is 32 plus 2 inches seam allowance for zip is 34 inches. I will divide 34 by 6.28. 6.28 is formula for full circle. 34 divided by 6.28 is 5.5. So the radius is 5.5 plus 9.5 is 15 inches. I'll make sure that I have 15 inches times 2 on this side. I have more than that. I have about 34.5. This is 15 inches. This is 15 inches on this side. I'll just fold it this way. Fold it this way. On this side, I'll make sure that I have 15 inches times 2, but I have more than that. 15 inches times 2 is 30. I have about 37 inches. So I'll fold it. So it's folded into 2. I'll fold it again into 4. This is the folded side. I'll mark 5.5, 5.5. From this 5.5, I'll mark the length of the lower part. 8 inches plus 1.5 inches, 9.5. This is 9.5. From here, I have 15 inches. I'll measure 15 inches. On this part, I'll measure 5.5. This is 5.5. From here, this is the length of the lower part. So I'm going to cut it. This fabric is thick. I'm not going to line it. This is the peplum. This is for the front. I'm going to stitch it. I'll stitch these three together. So this is for the back. I'm going to stitch the dart. This is the notch. I'll hold it this way. I'll mark 1/2 inch and stitch it. I've stitched the front together. This is for the back. I've sewn the dart. After that, I put it this way, right side together, and use gather stitches to hold the zip line. Later, I'll remove it to fix the zip. I also press it. What I'll do now is to stitch these two together. I'll put these two together, right side together. Half of her bust measurement is 19, but I have 21 inches here. 21 inches, I'll mark 1 inch on this side and 1 inch on this side. Half of her waist measurement is 16 inches. I have 18 inches. I'll mark 1 inch on this side and 1 inch on this side. I'll connect the line. I'll stitch on the line. I've stitched the two sides together. After that, I removed the gather stitches on the zip line and stitched the lower part to the upper part. I put it this way, right side together. Right side together, and stitch it using 1/2 inch seam allowance at the waistline. What I'll do next is to cut out the cape. To cut out the cape, I'll first cut out tiny band that I'll stitch on the armhole to stitch the cape on top of it. I have it here. I have 4 inches by 10 inches. 9 inches plus 1 inch seam allowance. I'll stitch it this way. 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. After stitching it, I'll have 4.5, which is 9 inches. This is for this side. I'll stitch it this way. After that, I'll use bias to tidy up the armhole, or I'll use this fabric to tidy up the armhole. To cut this out, you will minus your neck width from your round shoulder measurement. The front neck width is 11 inches. The back neck width is 11 inches. 11 plus 11 is 22 inches. 22, her round shoulder measurement is 40. 22 minus 40 is 18 inches. I will divide 18 inches into 2. 18 divided by 2 is 9. 9 inches on this side and 9 inches on this side. This is 10 inches. I added 1 inch seam allowance. 1/2 inch on this side and 1/2 inch on this side. Now I'm going to cut out the cape. I'm going to show you how to cut out the cape on piece of paper. Her round shoulder is 40 plus 2 inches seam allowance for zip is 42 inches. I'll fold this paper this way. Because it's on fold, I'll measure 1/2 of 42 inches. So how many inches you want for your cape? I'm going to use 4 inches or 4.5 inches. Half of 42 inches is 21 inches, but on this paper I use 4 inches instead of 21 inches because I can't get 21 inches on this paper. So this is the length. The length is you can use 4 inches, 5 inches. So on this paper I used 2 inches. So this is it. I'll use it to cut out the second one. So I have 2 of these. To cut out the cape, I'll fold this fabric this way. Her round shoulder is 40 plus 2 inches seam allowance 42. I'll measure half of 42 inches, which is 21 inches, because the fabric is on fold. This is 21 inches. I'll use 4.5 inches. This is 4.5 inches. So I'll measure this line to make sure that it's 21. I'll use it to cut out the second one. I'll put it this way, right side together. I'll stitch it using half-inch seam allowance. I've stitched the band to the sleeve. I use bias to tidy up the armhole. This is the cape. I've stitched them together. After that, I turn it to the right side and give it a good press. So now I'm going to stitch it to the blouse. This is the wrong side of the blouse. I'll pin it this way. I'll pin it on top. I'll stitch it. I'll stitch it. I'll do the same on this side. I've stitched the cape to the neckline. I added zip allowance because I wanted to stitch it together with the zip, but I changed my mind. I trim off half-inch and use half-inch to tidy up this side. So what I'll do next is to top stitch. This seam, I'll push it to this side, this way. I'll stitch on this side, top stitch. After that, I'll flip it to the right side of the blouse and fix the zip. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.